Okay. There we go. Look at who's getting on in the corner there. Look, 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 look. Look.
It's my cousin with the red jacket.
Your cousin with the red jacket. The third red jacket of the week. What? Wah, 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 wah. That is a whole lot, not of strength finders and a whole lot of love and excitement.
Indeed.
Yes, yes. Rhonda, you look like you're in like a nightclub or something, like the air and the lights. Like every week, I'm like, is she in a discotheque? For all you youngsters, that's another word for club. All righty. Welcome to our last Sunday united as game changers, my friends, my Mary Kay family, my loves, my beauties. Look at all of you. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so I'm circling, circling. I am circling. Yeah. So I saved some notes from several times ago where we were writing some words. My dog just suddenly is right next to me, which is a very big surprise. Don't know what's going to happen about that. And I'm going to close with these words about you guys, which I'm very excited about. Okay. I just don't really know if I want her down here. Well, whatever. Okay. So here is why we are wrapping this up. First of all, thank you all for being here on our last one. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you so very much. We have been learning a lot, haven't we? Like lots and lots and lots. So we'll review tonight what we did last week, which is you guys walking around with your little post-it note on your phone of all your strengths and doing all that. So we'll go through that. So just like all great things, sometimes we just have to switch stuff up a little bit. So all we're simply going to do as we're wrapping up, and I'll come to this at the end as well, but we're just going to go back to, in many of your cases, personal coaching, doing the one-on-one coaching. And what I really love about doing that is obviously then you get what you need from your sales director. But when we do that for a while, then we can always come back and revisit this because we've gotten what you guys need individually. And then as people continue to learn it again, then we can come back as a group again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So love doing individual coaching. Cece and I love doing it. It's about 30 to 45 minutes. And I have specifically done it with, on this particular screen of people, Katie, Whitney, and Rhonda, and also with Maggie Fortman. And the four of us were doing individual coaching for, I don't know, you guys, like 3 months or something, probably 2 to 3 months. And I absolutely love it. And I really love getting to the heart of each person and figuring out what makes them work and tick. And I want to also congratulate my mother. Mom, you have been on every single Strength Finders. Thank you. Every single one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No matter what time it was, no matter what. You might have even run one for me. That might have even been a thing. I don't know. That was a Wednesday thing for sure. So thank you. Thank you for your consistency and your excellence and your continued excellence. Okay. So for those of you that aren't familiar with one-on-one coaching, it's great. You actually, I ask lots of questions and it's not training. It's you talking, me asking. I do some guiding, but I don't steer, right? Like, is that a good way to describe it? Girls, like I guide, but I don't steer. You steer it. I just kind of guide it. And it's really great to dive into your top strengths and figure out specifically what works best for you. I typically do some coaching during the day, is typically when I do it, but I would also actually be willing to do some coaching on Sunday nights and fill in this slot with that. So if anyone is particularly interested in that. And then all the people that Cece has on Rise Unit, she's already doing coaching with them too. So you guys are amazing. You guys are involved. You guys know what you're doing. And I just love and appreciate you guys. And I also want to call out a few people that are not on that'll probably watch later. Andrea, Alicia, Dawn, Maggie Fortman, Savannah, Sandy, and Brandy was able to be on last week. Is there anyone I may have forgotten? Sarah Hastert was on a couple of times for you too, Cece. I feel like a couple other people too, but those are the ones that I know for sure. So, questions so far? Katie Sikorsky.
It's more of a comment than a question.
Yeah.
We've done our coaching, personal coaching. For me, it's always been before work. And I will tell you that sometimes they can be really emotional. So there were definitely times that I walked into work like kind of like having an emotional cry. So I do want you to know that sometimes it's not good to have mascara on coaching call days. But they are very helpful. And if you haven't done personal coaching, I've done two different iterations with Lisa. Like, I highly suggest it.
Thank you, Katie. Yeah, sometimes I don't know where those tears come from. It happens to me too. It happens to me too. Thank you, Katie. Thank you. Yeah, and I know you guys are full-timers. Like Jenny's a full-timer, Maggie and Ashley. And I know the three of you haven't done it with me yet, but we can, if it's something that you choose to do, we can work it out to your schedule. Because I'm flexible. I'm flexible. Okay, so who would like to share about how they had their these are Ashley's 5, how they had their 5 on their phone and how their week went and what your awareness was and all of that. Dory, did you have your hand up?
Well, I have my list, and it was all folded up like this, and it was stuck to my phone. So every time I picked up my phone, I was reminded to look at my list. And, you know, it was kind of an interesting week because I had some little things that were not as happy as we'd like, and other things that were kind of exciting, and other things that you go, oh, I know what I'm going to do now for my futuristic. And my individualization it kind of crept in there, which I don't really see it a lot, but all of a sudden I was feeling like almost like empathy, but not exactly. Like I wanted everybody to kind of really understand where I was coming from and what I wanted to do to help them, and not everybody was on my page. So, you know, I was having a little issue, but my ideation, I don't know what that means. I read it and I try to memorize it, and it's like, yeah, it must be me. Okay, so anyway, I worked on that a little bit, trying to get a clearer view of what that actually means for me. And again, not just the top 5, but my 10 and almost 12 kept creeping in even more. The strategic, the empathy, the positivity. But the one that I really think is weird is belief, which is on number 12 for me, which I personally feel should be 1, because I believe in everything. I believe in all my friends. I believe in their honesty and their success and their future thoughts and their past and their histories and everything. And, you know, and of course, God. I believe in God. I believe that I have always had the comparison for myself the sparrows of the field, the lily of the field, how God takes care of them. Am I not worth more than a sparrow or a lily? Yes, I am. No offense, Rhonda. But it just, I found my top 12 being kind of a conglomerate more of situation rather than just picking out 5.
Okay. So I think what will help you with a little bit of clarity is understanding the actual definition sometimes of the thing, because it's not number 12 because it's saying you don't believe in things. It's the definition of belief for strength finders is not the same as like the Webster's dictionary. Cece, do you have it in front of you, or do I need to run? Whoops. Hello. Where did everybody just go? Oh.
We're all right here. What?
Something else just popped across my screen. Do you have the definitions right in front of you, Cece, or do any of you?
I can pull it up real quick.
Great. Go ahead, Katie. Cece's or Katie.
I mean, I have it right now.
Read belief for us.
People who are especially talented in belief theme have certain core values that are unchanging. Out of these values emerges a defined purpose for their life.
See, this is you focused, Mom, not others. Okay? So what you said is, that's you. That's you. Yeah. Yeah, it's your positivity that I think is the one that you think is saying belief for other people. It's your positivity, actually, that's sticking out. What's ideation again?
It's along that lines of like bigger ideas and a kind of imagination, I think. Yeah. Maggie Sherwin?
Are you looking at it? Or is...
I'm looking at it because it's one of mine. Lisa, you want me to read it?
Yeah. Or
people exceptionally talented in the ideation theme are fascinated by ideas. They are able to find connections between seemingly disparate phenomena.
Yeah. So that's also you, Mom, because you're making those connections. You connect everything. You find ways to connect everything and everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. You're doing it. You're doing it. All right. Would someone else like to share some thoughts? Katie.
So I totally did not have my Post-it note with me, but I had a very, very interesting week at my day job. My boss and I decided to start kicking around the idea of opening a second retail location. So there was a lot of my individualization that was coming into play, a lot of responsibility, and there was some achieving, because there was also a lot of number crunching and a lot of market analysis. There were so many things I talked about last week that I have never thought about, like the amount of cars that go past you during a certain time of day, like everything. And I became very absorbed in it. But to be honest, there's likely going to be another Badgerland Computers coming next month in another small town. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little scared because we don't have more people. We're just gonna have more places to cover. But I'm super excited. Like, you guys have no idea how I have worked a bunch of jobs that seemed pointless to me my whole entire life. And this job has literally become the culmination of all of those jobs. I have worked retail, I have worked sales, and I have worked in technology. And basically that's what I do all day long. And I have a lot of customer service and a lot of things that I'm learning with Mary Kay that I have literally like braided it all together. So yeah, I have a day job, but like I get excited like trying to figure things out and help people. So I may be a little kind of like out in la la land the next couple of weeks, but just know that's because I'm like running on 10 of 8 cylinders. It's been exciting. It's been really, really exciting.
running on 10 of 8 cylinders.
Mm-hmm. That wasn't a misquote.
That's what makes it even funnier. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Katie. Anyone else? Maggie Sherwood.
It's been challenging to unmute myself today, apparently. So I kind of had a different look at my top 10 over this week. How I don't want to say that they're like in the basement or like they're bad, but I've realized there's a different way of looking at them. There's another sales director in the company who I follow on Instagram, and she had posted something about her number 2 is futuristic. She's like, that's why I think I actually like look forward to Mondays in the beginning of the week, because I'm like, I can think of all these things that can happen in the week, and this is really cool. And I was like, that's my number 2. And I actually understand her point. That really makes sense, because that happens to me, not necessarily on Monday, but in general. I'm like, oh, like all these different things that could happen. Like, this is really cool. Okay, that's a good thing. But then my adaptability kicks in, like in real time, and it's like, oh wait, but okay, I actually need to be over here, and then I start doing like a day-to-day functioning, as opposed to like really, I plan out like, okay, this has to be done this day. But there's other things where I'm like, well, I can procrastinate on a little bit, or well, if I do that the next day, it's okay. So I'm like, maybe I should work on that. And then also responsibility, because I realized that if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Which when you mix it with the other 2, sometimes it's like, oh shoot, I left that to the last minute, or man, I was helping with this, and so well, I need to do this now, and like, so it screws with my like time management, I guess. So it was more of a realization of like, yes, these are strengths, but sometimes they work almost against me in some way, or like I need to figure out how to focus them better, or I don't know, I don't want to say plan, but there's ways I could be better with them too, I guess. But one other things have kind of crept in without me realizing it this week, or just within the last couple of days. Like Maximizer, I met with one of the ladies from church this morning talking about our upcoming parish auction fundraiser thing, and she had some ideas about what they could do just of her own, and then me sitting there was like, okay, I like that idea. Hey, what if you added on to this? So that sort of thing of like keep building ideas and brainstorming, and that was kind of like, oh yeah, that's what part of that is. So that's kind of cool. And then it ties into the futuristic too, of like,
Yeah.
okay, well, let's use this in a positive way of like, okay, we don't really know what the whole social distance, COVID, all that, what people are going to want to do, but it's far enough out. We're like, well, maybe we can do some things, or you can just talk in the general terms of like, okay, this is one idea if we do it this way. If we don't do it that way, here's another idea to go with it, and kind of playing with it, and things like that. It's kind of cool.
That's awesome. That's using futuristic to its full potential right there, looking at all the avenues of all the different things that could potentially happen in a situation. That's where futuristic is really strong. Congratulations on that, Megs. Great awareness. Great awareness. I love it. I love it. It's good. All right. Who else?
Well, this chat is just reminding me to go back to the activity exercise that we did. Steph, I know you were there. I know a couple of you other gals were there at our retreat back in January, February, whenever that was, at the hotel, because we put all of our strengths together in a sort of description of yourself, some I am statements. And it wasn't necessarily using the specific strength word, but it was using the words that described the strength. So I think that's something really important that we remember. And the more that I do coaching, I'm just thinking of, Steph and my conversations, the more I have these conversations and realize like, hey, dive into that a little bit and tell me what you see, because what you see in the definition of a strength could be totally different than what someone else sees in the definition of it. So that's just been really neat. So you guys have reminded me that I should probably go back. So sometimes I read it over every day, that my I am statements, the way that I problem solve and the way that I work with people and want to learn about people and grow because of other people's growth. And it's getting a little repetitive. So I think refreshing that and picking out some new words to help me keep that fresh in my brain. So if that's something that you guys consider is doing basically a daily affirmation with the definitions of your strengths, that will really help keep you focused every morning and just kind of give you a little bit of like all right, that's what I am. Cool.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. You should coach me, Cece.
Oh boy.
I would
Wax on, wax off. That's how I feel right now.
wax on, wax off.
Kind of Mr. Miyagi you.
Yes. 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 Okay. Does anyone else want to share? Okay. All right. So it is 8:25, and these are words that you guys said when you were describing yourselves a while back. And Ashley, I picked one for you, so it's okay. This was before you joined, I think. You guys were using your words, and then I chose the one that I heard out there the most. And in no particular order, basically the order of my paper, not the order of the screen. Cece was dreamer. Do you remember saying that? Mm-hmm. And wit is inclusive. And the name of her Facebook group has community in it. Katie is intuitive. And Steph is friendly. And Jenny Kiesler is loyal. And Mom is wise. And Rhonda is strong-willed and visible. And Sherwin is imaginative and loved. And I'm going to say Savannah because she's always on here. Because compassionate was the word I had for her, but she's the one who came up with loved, blessed, and living our best. She actually said doing my best, right? But I actually changed it to loved, best, and living our best. Loved, blessed, and living our best. And I actually had a logo made. And you know what? I'm trying to make it. We're having some technical difficulties with the logo, but as soon as it gets done, you guys are going to love it. Okay. And then I want to add that Fortman was sassy and classy. And Emanuele was resourceful. Alicia is caring. Andrea is brave. And Ashley, when I think about you, I think about how smart you are. But like different ways to say smart, like not smart like, oh, she's so smart. It's like, she's just so.
Clever?
What?
Clever?
Clever. Yes.
Word queen.
Yes. Clever. You are so clever, Ashley. Yes. Thank you, Cece. Ash, do you want to say anything on that?
So that goes back to like some, when I think about my top 5 strengths. So I think, my cleverness comes from, okay, how can I use that cleverness to change my future, right? Or how can I use my cleverness with ideation, like all of my different strengths, like, whenever I'm thinking about something, I think of, okay, how am I going to do this? What do I have to do to get to that next step? Or what do I have to do to get to that future that I'm envisioning for myself or envisioning for other ones that I know or envisioning for my team, right?
Mhm.
Not myself, but for my team. So yes, I like that word. I think that I think that sometimes you know, I'm not being oh, I'm so clever. I'm just, you know, I think that just that word clever kind of sums it up as how I think each day is in a clever way. Like I always think about things before I do them, if that makes sense.
Yes. 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 What's a, for Sandy, what's a great way to say like idea filled?
That could just go back to Maggie's word of imaginative.
Yes.
Imagination.
Yes. And I don't know, Mom, I don't know if I know Brandy well enough to have a word for her yet. But she's very willing to learn new things. And Sarah is supportive of her team. Sarah's really super supportive.
Mm-hmm.
I love that about her so much. I've really enjoyed my time with you guys with doing this. And as your futuristic, strategic, communicating, what am I? Woo. Okay, but I'm not using that for this. Your futuristic, communicating, strategic. Why can I not? Why does this happen when you said, when you have to say something? Why can't you? The thing you know, I know this. Okay. Well, those three parts of me, the futuristic, strategic communicator, are telling you that as I when I schedule things, when we try new things, when we change up, celebrate and connect, when we switch up stuff, when your directors start doing stuff, when we change the scripts, when we do this, your directors can tell you that I look at stuff in chunks of time, sometimes quarters, sometimes 6 months, sometimes a year. And we look and see, okay, how long is this going to work? What's our end goal with it? And I'm not totally sure what my end goal was doing this event on these Sunday nights. But I know, you guys, that as your leader, as your super senior, still have a lot to learn in these categories. And, oh, it just switched. I still have a lot to learn as your leader. Cece has a lot to learn as a coach as well. And we want to make sure that we're coming to you when we do these things with the best knowledge and the best information for you that we possibly can. So sometimes we also have to take a step back from an event so that we can gather the information that we need for you, so that then when we recontinue it, we have the knowledge and the education to be able to continue to work with you. Does that make sense? Great, because the last several months we've had to learn a lot of new things, right? And so we had to switch some devotion to some different things. And I know for sure that I've not been able to spend as much time digging into some of these things that I would like to. And I want to make sure that we're even better prepared for you guys. Does that make sense? Okay, great. I also love doing the individual coaching. I absolutely love it. I love it. Love being in your space. Yeah. Love getting to know how you guys individually work. And that is part of my strategy, because we build those relationships one at a time, right? So the connections that we make, the relationships that we make. It is not a surprise to me that there are 3 red jackets in a week. You know why? Because our relationships are amazing, amazing, amazing. Our relationships and our connections that you have with your team and that I have with our team is just so good. I'm just so proud of you guys. Seriously, so proud of you guys. Does anyone have any last minute thoughts you want to share? Sherwin.
Was thinking of more maybe for a resource for all of us is if somewhere in our group Facebook page, maybe an album unto itself of each of our top 10. So I don't know if it's from photos you have of us or if we need to send our own or add our own, but that might be a nice thing to go back to sometime if you're like, okay, I think maybe someone else in this group, I know someone said they had this in their top 10. I can't remember who it was. We had that to go back, and then as other people in the unit, if they decide they want to take the test and whatever, they can add their result too, or maybe just seeing a bunch of other ones might trigger something in them to be like, oh, hey, I wonder what this is about, and look for themselves.
I love that.
Okay, Strength Finders album. This is what we'll do then. You'll take a selfie and put your top 10. And you'll put your name, you'll make a pic collage or whatever, your name on it, your picture on it, and your top 10. And we'll create a Strength Finders album and Encourage Nation. And who can add pictures to those albums? Just the administrators?
Pretty sure.
But you can send them to us and then we can add it to the album, right?
They can also post them, and then from there we can move them to the album, but it might be easier just to create it all at once, and then boom, here's everybody, and then it's also just one big post. We can work it out.
Yes, I love that. Maggie Sherwin, what a great idea that is. What was that? Was that futuristic right there, Sherwin?
It's a little bit ideation, isn't it?
I think it's more maximizer.
Or maximizer.
Oh, okay. Cece, did you just say ideation? Is that what you said?
I said imagination.
Yes, which is what my word for her is. Yes. Wow. You guys are awesome. Seriously. Thank you. Thank you for doing this with us. Thank you for spending your Sunday nights with us, whether it was 6:30 or 8 o'clock or whatever. I'll let you get to the Packer game. Thanks for that. And those of you that want to schedule personal coaching again with your director, we can get it right on the calendar. That is all good. Okay. Sound good? All right. So keep using your strengths, keep living in them, keep learning, keep growing. We're in this together. All right. All right. Love you all. Thank you.
Love.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow for Reds.